Jazar, welcome back. आई थिंक जजर का इंटरनेट कनेक्शन में कुछ इशू है। दोस्तों, आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप लोग वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करें। ऐसी जो एपिसोड्स होते हैं उनमें भी कई सारे लोगों को जुड़ना काफी जरूरी है। तो आप लोग ये ना सोचे कि यार इसमें आज मोमिन भाइयों से बातें नहीं होने वाली है तो आप लोग कम तादाद में आए, ऐसा ना करें। ये एपिसोड काफी 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 ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इस मोमेंट के लिए, इसलिए मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ वीडियो को आप लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें। जजर इज बैक।
Hello, can you
Jazar,
hear
can
me
you
now?
hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, please go ahead. You were telling us that you are an MBBS student and
Yeah.
you are from Kerala.
Apple, you don't want the camera on, right?
If there is, if it is
Hello.
not creating any problem with the voice, then I'm okay with the camera on.
But I don't know what is creating the problem. Maybe we can go with the camera being off. Is that okay?
Yeah. It's absolutely fine. People have already seen you, so even if your cam is on, is off now,
Yeah.
that is absolutely fine. Yeah. So
Go ahead.
please go
Go ahead.
ahead with your yeah.
Okay. So I was born in when I was 3 years old. Family moved to Dubai, and most of my childhood was there.
Jazar, your voice is breaking again.
Hello.
Your voice is breaking
One
again.
second.
Do you have a Wi-Fi connection or are you connected to your hotspot, mobile data?
No. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible now, but when you start
Hello.
speaking, your voice goes, your voice goes bad.
Is it
Are you
is it
connected
okay now?
through Wi-Fi connection or are you connected through your mobile data?
I'm connected with my mobile data.
Oh, so can you keep the phone somewhere, at near window so that there is no network problem?
Actually,
And
I'm
if you
near the
have any app open in the background, just
no.
close that. No, your voice is still breaking. सो मीनवाइल निखिल ने 100 रुपए का कंट्रीब्यूशन किया है, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। कह रहे हैं नमस्ते साहिल भाई, यू आर डूइंग अ स्प्लेंडेड जॉब एंड विल बी रिमेम्बर्ड बाय कमिंग जनरेशंस, विल बी मोर एनालिटिकल। थैंक यू निखिल भाई। एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, आप सभी लोगों से मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि चूंकि आज गुरपुरब है, विच इज द बर्थ एनिवर्सरी ऑफ ऑल द 10 गुरुज ऑन द रेस्पेक्टिव बर्थडे, तो आप सभी को उसकी शुभकामनाएं मेरे तरफ से। हैप्पी गुरुपुरब सभी लोगों को। सचवाला जी पार्ट 2 कह रहे हैं काफी लोगों अल्लाह का आजाब आ गया है, सुधर जाओ। जजर,
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
या वी कैन हियर यू नाउ।
Let me see if my voice is still breaking. Please tell me.
या यू नो इट्स फाइन नाउ, प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
Okay. Okay. So as I said, most of my childhood was in Dubai. Even
दुबई,
when I was in preschool and yeah, in Dubai, I was in Dubai till my ninth standard. I was in
ओके
Dubai.
ओके
So even when I was in preschool and kindergarten, my father used to take me for Friday Juma prayers and all. And my parents used to pray like they are devout Muslims. They pray, but as I was very small, like they didn't force me to pray or something. But when I started, when I crossed the age of 7, when I was in school and when I became 8 years old, I was asked to pray, and from 8 years onwards, that's what I can remember. I started going to madrasa. The thing is, like, my mother's family is a hardcore Salafi family, or a Mujahid family, as some people would call them, Mujahids. So naturally, I too went to a Salafi madrasa. There I studied the Qiraat and basic Tajweed, Fiqh, Tarikh, the 6 articles of Iman, 5 pillars of Islam, and all the Hadith, and all those stuff, and how to pray, and so stuff. And after that, I was supposed to pray. There was actually, there was a kind of an order, and even like I used to think that that was right, and that was what I was supposed to do always. I used to go to mosques for at least 3 times a day. I used to go to mosques. Mostly it was for Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. I still remember that I had learned the whole last Jews of Quran. That is from the Surah al,
Surah Naba.
yeah, till Surah An-Naba, till Amat Salun. I learned it by heart, and like I could recite it without having to look at the Quran. Uh, like it is funny now thinking about it, that even at that time I even dreamed of becoming a Hafid. I mean, can you even imagine that, being a Hafid? And and it was not just prayers. I used to fast in the month of Ramadan, and I used to, in the month of Ramadan, it was, our family was very, absolutely in prayers, and very in all kinds of, Islamic stuff. I used to go to pray to the mosque for all the prayers, almost all the prayers. At least whenever I was in my home, or when I'm back from school, I used to go to the mosque, and even for Taraweeh. And when it is in the last 10 days of Ramadan, our whole family, we used to go to spend our days, the last days in the mosque, for Qiyamul
Right.
Layl and Tahajjud and all those kind of. And then when I was 14 years old, it was then I had to come back to India due to personal reasons. But still, I still continued my madrasa education. A lady used to come and used to teach us the Quran and other stuff. And for quite some time in my life, like I was in my mother's house. Uh, because mostly my father was still there in Dubai, and we used to stay in our mother's house. There, only our grandmother was there, and so and like later, most of my like from 14 years and until I got through entrance, medical entrance, I used to live with my grandmother in my mother's house. Now, as I said, my mother's family is a very they are very hardcore Salafis. They are very proud of being Salafis, not just Muslims. They're very proud of being Salafis, and even my mother's family, the elders, the male people, my mother's brothers, and all those, my mother's father's brothers, and all, they were all members, and in the leadership of Kerala Nadwatul Mujahideen, KNM, which is the Mujahid organization
Oh,
in Kerala. Yeah.
that
uh,
what is the full form? Kerala
Ke-
Nadwatul
Nadwatul
Mujahideen.
Mujahideen. Yeah.
Okay, so
KNM.
your family members were on the high position in this organization. That is what you are trying to tell?
Yeah, yeah. They were either in the district leadership, or they were in the state leadership, and like at least they knew everyone. They were well connected with the leadership.
Okay. Okay.
And near my mother's house, there is a Salafi masjid, which was I think, almost completely under our family's control, or we were the main prominent members in the family, in the masjid
Okay.
committee.
Okay,
Yeah, and
so I'll just give short summary of what you have said. दोस्तों जजर जो है ये कह रहे हैं कि ये दुबई में थे और मदरसे में इन्होंने तालीम हासिल की है, इन्होंने तजवीद सीखा, इनको जो कुरान का जो लास्ट पारा होता है, 30वां पारा जो अम्मा यतसा अलुन सूरह नबा से जो स्टार्ट होता है, इनको बाय हार्ट हो गया था, याद कर लिया था इन्होंने। और ये सलफी मकतबे फ़िक्र के थे, जो सलफी फ़िरका है उससे ये बिलॉन्ग करते थे। बल्कि इनके जो घर वाले हैं वो एक प्राउड, यानी वो अपने आप को प्राउड सलफी मानते हैं। और इनके जो रिश्तेदार है वो केरला नदवतुल मुजाहिदीन, शायद इन्होंने कहा है, ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है या जो इदारा है, इसमें ये काफी बड़े पोजीशन पे, जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल है वो पोजीशन पे थे इनके रिश्तेदार। और इसके अलावा ये कह रहे हैं कि ये 3 टाइम की नमाज पढ़ते थे, असर, मगरिब, इशा, और रोजे रखते थे। और इसके अलावा जब रमजान का महीना आता तो जो आखिरी 10 दिन होता है, आखिरी अशरा जो होता है, उसमें इनकी पूरी फैमिली मस्जिद में पूरा वक्त बिताते। और आमतौर पे अगर आप देखोगे, जो सलफी मुस्लिम होते हैं या अहले हदीस जो फिरके वाले होते हैं, वो रमजान में लास्ट 10 दिन जो है उसमें जो 5 रातें होती हैं, वो अक्सर जो है पूरी रात वो मस्जिद में ही बिताते हैं। तो ये उस फिरके से ये बिलोंग करते थे, और इनकी जो फैमिली है वो पक्की, एकदम पक्की सलफी फैमिली है, मानती है। और ये मेडिकल स्टूडेंट है, ये भी इन्होंने बताया है। इनके घर के पास मस्जिद है, सलफी मस्जिद, और उसको कंट्रोल जो है इनके फैमिली के हाथ में ही है। तो इतना मैंने शॉर्ट में बताया। आई होप इतनी उनकी बातें आपको समझ में आई होगी। अ, अब आगे उनसे जानते हैं कि उनके पास आगे कहने के लिए क्या है। यस जजर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू। यू There was a mosque, Salafi mosque near your house, and
Yeah.
your family had a control of that mosque. Then,
Yeah, and when I was a believer, even that mosque and or going to prayers and all like all those kind of Islamic things were very dear to me. I enjoy doing those things, and you will not believe it that I like there was the permanent or the full time muazzin for the masjid, but I was a part time muazzin for the masjid
oh,
because I loved delivering the azan, and I'm not boasting or bragging about it, but my azan was quite good. Like even when I was in college or when I was in Dubai
can you
madrasas.
can you can you give azan now? And our Muslim brothers and sisters listening to you, maybe sometimes they think that we call some fake people, and they were not actually Muslim, and it's a scripted thing. They I mean, some of them they think like that. So as you said,
Yeah.
you were very good in giving azan. I would request you to, give maybe 2-3 lines of that in a good voice.
Okay, yeah, I've been out of practice for years now, and but still I'll
It's
give it a try.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, give a try. Yeah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله Allah.
That was fantabulous, जजर। जजर ये कह रहे थे कि वो जितने जो अमल करते थे वो दिल से अपने करते थे, उन्हें काफी इंटरेस्ट से वो करते थे, और इनके जो पास में मस्जिद थी वहां पे ये लाइक पार्ट टाइम मुअज्जिन जैसे थे, क्योंकि इनको अजान देना काफी पसंद था। तो इसलिए मैंने इनसे रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि आप हमारे दर्शकों को भी अजान देकर बताएं, ताकि जो हमारे मोमिन भाई जिनको लगता है कि हम फेक लोगों को बुलाते हैं, कम से कम वो उनको ना लगे। So Jazar, that was absolutely fantabulous, and please go
Thank
ahead,
you,
please
thank you.
continue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so uh, that was, I think, that was most of my religious life. I think we should go to the next question to continue the story then.
yeah, sure, sure. So the very next question for you is why you left Islam. Tell us in detail why you left Islam.
Yeah, okay. Now, I got the what happened next was like I got through medical entrance. I secured my medical seat. I got into a government. I had a government medical seat, and like it was then like when I was began like my life began to be a little more free. I began to take a little more interest in politics. That was not something of it did not happen just like that. It was because in India, it was during those years, it was then that the rise of the fascist Hindutva government came in India, and they were promoting anti-Muslim sentiments. And back then, when I identified myself as a devout Muslim, the suffering of Muslims really troubled me a lot. Uh, the Sangha Parivar gaining control of India, and on the pretext of even possessing, you didn't have to possess a real beef or something. Y- They just have to make a rumor about it, and they can come and mob lynch and kill you. Muslims were discriminated against. They were shunned away from the mainstream society. They were treated worse than even cow dung, I should say. And being a devout Muslim, being a true Muslim back then, I couldn't just stay quiet. That was not because I was a great humanist then or allowed all of mankind equally. It was because I cared about Muslims and Muslims only. Because then I used to believe in Muslim supremacy. Now, all of you know that the left wing politics in Kerala, the left wing politics is very strong. It has a very solid base in Kerala. Uh, I was very much attracted to the left because they were talking about equality, they were talking about freedom, they were talking about rights, progress, fraternity, and most importantly, why I was attracted to the left wing was because they even included the discriminated or the persecuted minorities such as Muslims in their activism. And I decided to read more on left wing politics. I was very much in love with leftism because like equality and freedom and rights and progress and fraternity and all those stuff, like it makes you more at least as far as I'm concerned, it makes you more of a human being. And but later when I began to read more on leftism, I was facing problems with being a Muslim and a leftist because how I couldn't reconcile the teachings of Islam and leftism when Islam taught me Muslim supremacy and Islam is to rule. Leftism taught me equality, freedom, rights, progress, and and all of these good stuff, that the equality, freedom, rights, and progress and fraternity, they were meant for the whole of human beings, whole of mankind. It was not just limited to a particular religion or a particular community. It was for the whole mankind or for the whole humankind. And uh, and I began to when such differences of opinion between began to crop up in my mind, I was like confused, like I couldn't decide between Islam and leftism. But like just like how a Muslim is taught in madrasas, like whenever you have any doubts relating to religion, whether your religion is true or whether your religion is perfect, or whether you start when you start having doubts, you should suppress those doubts, kill those doubts, squash those doubts, and those doubts will go away. That was what we were taught. That is what I think every Muslim is taught in madrasas. You're not supposed to doubt your religion. You're not supposed to have any kind of hesitation to do any of the stuff that Islam has commanded you to do. And when I began to use that technique, I was successful. I did not have to think anymore because it was easy to shut away my thoughts, cast away my doubts, and be a Muslim and not to think about other stuff. But later, like my college life started, I began to engage with more people. It was a much wider world. There were atheists, there were agnostics, there were people of other religions, and frequently we used to come into conversations about religion. And just like we used to compare stuff, we used to compare ideologies, we used to talk about which is better or which is more humane, which is more good for the people, and which is more tolerant, and such kind of talks. uh, and what happened was that like when I when I went to madrasas, when I studied in madrasas, I was taught and I was taught, and also I only knew the good stuff about Islam. I didn't know anything about the bad stuff or the alleged bad stuff. I used to think it was alleged. I used to think it as alleged, although all those stuff they come out with. But I knew all the good things about Islam and its prophet. Only the good stuff. Only the sweet stuff that was presented very emotionally and passionately by Islamic scholars. Like I know many Islamic scholars in their speeches, and they're very emotional when they talk about Islam, and even I was drawn to it. I used to think that even yes, my Islam is the perfect. Islam is the best. And like when I began to, what happened was when I began to talk to different people from different perspectives, and they started challenging my beliefs, they started challenging my Islam, they started challenging my prophet. And being a Muslim, being a true Muslim, you can't just let it go, because it is your religion being attacked, it is your Islam being
That
attacked, it is your
that
prophet
is
which is being.
absolutely, Jazza, that is absolutely a valid point that you have said.
Yeah.
That if someone is questioning your belief, especially if it is Islam, you cannot just let it go. And this is what the problem of Muslims today we have. And it's not about today. It's it was uh, from the start also. It's from the start. दोस्तों, जजन ने अभी तक जो बताया है वो ये बताया है कि जब वो कॉलेज में गए और ये जो केरला से आते हैं तो वहाँ पे इनका जो ज्यादा दिलचस्पी थी वो पॉलिटिक्स में थी, तो ये लेफ्ट जो आइडियोलॉजी है या जो भी कहते हैं उसको, आई एम नॉट वेरी गुड इन पॉलिटिक्स, बट उन्होंने जो बताया है मैं वो बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों को। तो लेफ्ट की तरफ इनका ज्यादा झुकाव था। तो इनको लेफ्ट में जो जो चीजें होती है, जैसे सबके साथ इक्वालिटी के साथ रहना है, या यानी क्या कहते हैं उसको, डेवलपमेंट का सोचना है, यानी जो भी इनको लगा कि ये बेहतरी वाली चीज है वो इनको इस्लाम में नहीं मिल पा रही थी। वो दोनों मैच नहीं हो रहा था। और इसके अलावा जब ये कॉलेज में गए तो वहां पे इनकी जो मुलाकात है वो यानी एथियस्ट के साथ हुई, एग्नोस्टिक के साथ हुई, और फिर जो बाकी मजहब वाले या धर्म वाले लोग थे उनके साथ इनकी अच्छा, ये कह रहे हैं वी अंडरस्टैंड इंग्लिश। आप समझते हो, लेकिन कई सारे लोग हैं जो नहीं समझ पाते हैं, तो जो मैं बता रहा हूँ ये उन लोगों के लिए है जो नहीं समझ पाते हैं इंग्लिश इतनी साफ। तो ये जो है जजर जो है वो जब कॉलेज में दोस्तों के साथ मिले, वहां पे एथियस्ट थे, एग्नोस्टिक थे, दूसरे धर्म वाले थे, मजहब वाले थे, तो वहां पे इनकी उनके साथ कॉन्वर्जेशन होती थी, या वो जो सवाल करते थे इस्लाम में। तो जजर ने एक बहुत वैलिड पॉइंट बताया है जो आज आप लोग बिल्कुल इसको यानी समझ सकते हो हमारे चैनल पर भी, कि एक मुसलमान के सामने अगर कोई इस्लाम को चैलेंज करे या इस्लाम को गलत कहे या मोहम्मद साहब को गलत कहे, तो वो मुसलमान उसको ऐसे ही जाने नहीं दे सकता। अगर फिर से मैं कहता हूं कि कोई मुसलमान के सामने अगर कोई इस्लाम को बुरा कहे या मोहम्मद साहब को बुरा कहे या गलत कहे, तो वो मुसलमान उसको ऐसे ही जाने नहीं दे सकता। यही हाल जजर मोहम्मद का था, और उस वजह से उन्होंने फिर उनको जवाब देने के लिए उन्होंने जो कुछ किया वो आगे बताएंगे। लेकिन ये बहुत ही वैलिड पॉइंट है, आप लोग ध्यान रखिएगा। इसीलिए जो हमारे मोमिन भाई आते हैं उनके अंदर हाइपर एक्टिव मोड होता है, हाइपर एक्टिव होते हैं, क्योंकि वो इस्लाम को गलत सुनना पसंद ही नहीं करते या वो सुनना चाहते ही नहीं है। इसके वजह से ये हाइपर एक्टिवनेस उनके अंदर आ जाता है। और यही हाल जजर का भी था। आगे सुनते हैं कि जजर को क्या कहना है। यस जजर, सो you cannot stand hearing that Islam was false or Prophet Muhammad is not a good person. So what happened then?
Yeah, just as you said, I even my hyperactive mode was on because I was emotional. Like I have not seen this prophet, I've not seen him at all, and none of us have. But you know, I loved this prophet. I loved Prophet Muhammad more than my siblings, more than my parents, and even more than myself. Or that was what I was ordered or commanded to do. So that is a hadith. You are supposed to love your prophet much more than anyone, including yourself. And of course, when you hear someone criticizing or even ridiculing, mocking your prophet in a way which is even the slightest way, that is not you won't look at the severity of the attacks. You just look at whether he's attacking or criticizing a prophet, and that is it. You get angry, you get emotional, you want to reply. You become, you want to reply in a much more fierce manner. But since it was Kerala, and that was not the culture that I grew up in, it was I could restrict myself to words or discussions. And that is not the case when you mock the prophet in a Islamic country. So what happened was, they called prophet a killer, they called the prophet a rapist, they called the prophet a child abuser, mass murderer. They also told that Quran has no morality, the Quran has no scientific facts at all. And like, I was really disturbed, and I wanted to show them that my religion, that my Islam is the best. And they it was better that they did not criticize it. But for that, I needed to study Islam better, much more than what I was taught or knew in madrasas. So I decided to study Islam better. And because I wanted to prove them that the Quran was perfect in every way. I wanted to prove that my prophet Muhammad Rasulullah was the most perfect man in the whole world, in the history of earth, and is the role model for all humans in the future, for the future. And for that purpose, I began to study Islam. And what happened next is the crux of the story. That is, the Islam that, like, I started going deep into Islam, not the stuff that you're taught in madrasas or in general, not those kind of stuff. I began to go in deeper. The Islam I knew from learning in madrasas and from listening to study classes of Islamic scholars was not at all similar to the Islam that I studied by my own efforts. Now, when people listen to this, like when I say that I studied by my own efforts, they'll, it is very natural to suspect me, to think that it was probably my mistake, that I got Islam wrong, that I interpreted Islam wrong, that I got the wrong idea of Islam, and that is not what the real Islam or the true Islam is, and it is all my fault. No, I will reply to that possible accusation within a minute. I'll tell you where I studied the Quran or how I studied the Quran. I studied Quran from tafsirs of great mufassirs. I don't think any Muslim, any Islamist would say that Abdullah ibn Abbas, who was a cousin of the Prophet, is not a reliable person. He is said to be the greatest mufassir of Quran. There is a hadith that when he was blessed directly by Allah,
Right.
because the Prophet prayed that Ibn Abbas should receive the best of knowledge of the Quran. And the Tafsir ibn Abbas is one of the best tafsirs. It is the most reliable because Abdullah ibn Abbas was a companion of the Prophet and lived during his time. And so Tafsir ibn Abbas. And so I studied. My one source of knowledge was Abdullah ibn Abbas. Next, it was one of the other tafsirs was Tafsir al-Jalalain, which was written by Imam Jalaluddin al-Mahalli and his student Jalaluddin Suyuti, who's popularly called as known as Imam Suyuti. I also studied Quran from Tafsir ibn Kathir, which was written by Ibn Kathir, who is an expert and an authority in tafsirs, and a lot many mufassirs, including the Tafhim al-Quran by Sayyid Abdul Ala Madudi, and a lot many, even Badawi, Bayqavi, and all those great mufassirs. I
So you have
studied.
gone
No,
through all these tafasirs, Jazar? You have gone through all these
uh,
tafasirs? Most of them?
I I have, and I'm still going through.
Okay, you're
That would
still
be the
going
more
through.
accurate. Yeah, yeah, I'm still going through.
Okay.
Because the Islam stands by just one. Islam's greatest claim is that if you find one wrong thing in it, and that's enough.
That's
So
enough. Yeah, absolutely true.
yeah, so I don't have to go looking around, finding all the mistakes and then deciding whether I should continue or not. I have found whatever I needed to come out of it. Not to come out of it. I looked at it objectively. But then, and now I'm studying is Islam as a part of a personal interest, and to so that I can answer questions when Islamic scholars themselves ask, try to play down my or the my the people who are ex-Muslims, and they just cancel ex-Muslims because they think that ex-Muslims don't know anything, and they just pretending, or they have some anti-Muslim sentiments. It is why, because they're doing all this. Anyway, I studied, and a lot many tafsirs. I studied hadith from the Kutub al-Sitta, that is Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, Imam Tirmidhi, Imam An-Nasai, Imam Abu Dawud, Imam Ibn Majah, and the six of which, these are the six greatest books of the hadith, together which they are called as Kitab al-Sitta, Kutub al-Sitta. And fiqh, you can study fiqh from Imam Shafi, Imam Abu Hanifa, from Imam Malik, and their students, Imam Nawawi, Ibn Rajab, Shaykhul Islam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Shihabuddin Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah. All these are great scholars. And it is not the olden times. You can study all this if you want. You can study because everything is available. Everything is, you can have access to almost all sources, whichever source that you want. It's very easy now that the internet has come, and people are the books in the form of PDFs have come, and so it's easy to get a hold of these books. If it was in the earlier times, it were some 10, 15 or 20 years back, it would have been very difficult, but now that's not the case.
Can you try opening the camera if it is possible? I think your connection is stable now, and it would be more interesting for people to watch you and listen to you if it's possible. If it's not working, then we'll move to the audio version. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you in between.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, and I kept reading and I kept studying. And in spite of all those days and weeks and months and years of studying and reading, I left Islam. Now, you might ask why. It was
Yeah.
because Allah is just another tribal god, which was elevated by a man, a Qurayshi named Muhammad, for his own, I'm sorry to say this, but
Benefit.
for his own selfish needs and desires of bringing under the world under his control, controlling it that was what his main intention was. It's like he had his own agendas and desires and needs and stuff, and he wanted the world under him. And what happened was, his selfish sexual and sensual needs and desires of playing the god man, after coming to know about the mythological stories of Jewish and Christian background. He was a merchant, he was a businessman. He used to travel long In those days, they used to have the caravans and stuff, and they used to come come into a contact with a lot of people, Jews and Christians and all other people, and it is it is very high, much possible and highly likely that he has talked to most of them. He has an idea of what Christianity, of what Judaism was, and when he had and I should say that he was very shrewd. You have to accept that Muhammad was a very good businessman. He was a great merchant, which was why Khadija was impressed, and which was what led to their marriage too. And so he's not someone who had who just came out of the blue and decided to create a religion. No, he had a plan, and he was going exactly by that plan. And but Allah was just a tribal god. Allah was actually the tribal god, the chief god of Makkah, and the all the history is there in that, and was the main god of the Banu Hashim tribe, of which Muhammad was a member of. The Banu Hashim tribe of Qurayshis, they had a chief god, or their tribal the tribal god, and that was Allah. And Allah was also the chief of gods in Makkah, the head of the 360 idols around Kaaba. And I would say that if Muhammad had a verified Facebook and Instagram account, his fake profile would have the name of Allah, because that is what Allah is. That is nothing more.
Can you repeat that?
Nothing more. I will repeat that. That is, if Muhammad had a verified Facebook and Instagram account, or whatever other social media accounts, and if he had a fake profile, that fake profile would have the name of Allah. And now, why not Islam? Because Islam is nothing but a fascist, authoritarian dictatorship. It is misogynist, it is patriarchal, it is discriminative, it is communal, it is violent, it is bloodthirsty. It has no regard for the lives of people who are non-Muslims. But then, the listeners will ask, what is Islam then? Islam is Quran and Hadith. And what is Quran and Hadith? Hadith is, of course, the Sunnah of the Prophet. So that is again Muhammad. Hadith is completely Muhammad. And what is the Quran? You can see in a hadith by Imam Muslim in Sahih Muslim, that Aisha was asked, what is the character of the Muhammad? What is the character of the Prophet? What is the character of Muhammad? By, I don't remember the name. You can find that hadith is there. It's a long, detailed hadith in Sahih Muslim, and
Well
Aisha
said.
says, Aisha says that
We are
the
not
character of the
rating on
Prophet, Aisha, the character of the Prophet is the Quran. So,
Yeah.
who is Muhammad and what is Islam? It all answers it. Every question has the same answer. Who is Allah? Allah is Muhammad. What is the Quran and Hadith? That is Muhammad. Everything is Muhammad. Where's the difference? If you talk about one, you're talking about everything connected to it. There's no need to talk about everything separate. It's all Muhammad. And I think your next question was why I don't think Muhammad is a prophet, right?
Yeah. No. So, what is your viewpoint about the Quran?
Quran. I think there's which is,
If you want to answer the next question, according to you, why can't Hazrat Muhammad be a prophet? We are absolutely fine. You can answer that question.
okay. I think everything is connected, so I just answered everything together actually.
It's okay. You want to take any question, you can take that. Go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So why I don't think Muhammad is a prophet? I'll also add one more statement to that. Why I don't think Muhammad is a prophet. I don't think Islam is a religion which has any quality to be considered as a model or a standard. I don't think Allah can be considered to be a god. Uh,
Reason?
I'm coming to that. That is, for example, for the first thing, why I don't think Muhammad is a prophet. There are many reasons. The first reason is the revelation, or the kind of revelation. The revelation is the most important part in Muhammad's life. It was how he became a prophet, or how he declared himself to be a prophet, how he assumed the prophethood. I would like everyone listening to this to read the several. There are a lot of hadiths on how Muhammad receives his revelations from Jibril, from Allah through Jibril, and just read it. And you know, just think that such an incident happened today in this world. What will we do? Uh, Maybe now, you'll need more time because there are many hadiths on it. uh, like I'm sure any person who think at least a little skeptically and critically, that he will definitely have doubts whether Muhammad had a psychiatric disorder. And that is not something to be mocked at, or something to be made fun of, because being a medical student and all that, or being a human itself, I don't have to be a medical student for that. A medical When you have a medical condition, or when you have a psychiatric disorder, it is not a good thing. It's a very pitiable condition. You need support, you need treatment. But that was not what happened to Muhammad. Now, I'm not and will like I'm not going to mock Muhammad, but the point to be noted is that Muhammad is not acting when he says about the various ways which he receives revelations. Like when you read the hadith, you can see that, you can read that Muhammad, when he receives revelations, sometimes he hears it, like the ring of a bell, and he goes unconscious. He starts sweating. He starts foaming at his mouth. Uh, he goes all, he starts shivering. He starts sweating, and it's all, it's and he sees stuff. He sees people who are not there. He once, when he was walking down the road, it's a hadith, it's a Sahih hadith. Once he was walking down the road, he saw Jibril sitting on a chair in the sky. I mean, how can you believe that? You saw someone sitting on the chair in the sky. I mean, how ridiculous is that?
Okay,
And
so Jazza, sorry to interrupt. So my
yeah,
question
yeah,
to you is, yeah, I'm really sorry. So my question to you is, if you say, being a medical doctor, and you said not necessary that, to consider this you have to be a medical doctor. Normal human can also comprehend to this. But my question is, and I'm sure the Muslims will also raise the same question, that a person who has this mental disorder, psychiatric disorder, how he can do things so well. I mean, he is such a, uh, I mean, he has done it in such a good way that he had control over everything. So a person with mental disorder, how he can be so perfect in getting that power that he got?
yeah. That's a very good question. What I would like to say is that, since that Muhammad lived, 1,500 or 400 years back, I cannot confirm that he actually had a psychiatric disorder, but it is a possible conclusion. It's a possible assumption, and it was I'm not the first person who's raising such an assumption. It has been it has been raised by a lot of historians, because and doctors. There have even been studies conducted on this, on Muhammad psychology. The thing is, a psychiatric patient does not have to be, he might not be uh, mentally ill in the sense that he should always be confined to a bed or chained. Not like that. He can be okay, or quite normal
Normal.
in some time.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
can be quite normal. Yeah, he can be quite normal, most of the times, and he can have an attack of, it could be epilepsy, it could be fits, it could be convulsions. Like he would be going for epileptic fits. He start shivering and all. Do you know what epilepsy is?
Yeah, you get convulsion, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
exactly
fits.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so, and when you are in epileptic state, you can see things. You can see things because your brain is in a really excited state. You can see things, and that is very much possible. And
Okay.
such he there were a lot of poets. There were a lot of, because Arabia had a rich culture of poetry, and uh, everyone, not everyone, I mean, there were a lot of poets over there. He must have listened to a lot of poetry, and he could have got many ideas from that. He could have mixed that up with what he learned or heard from Jewish scholars, from Christian scholars, and or it might maybe this is just I said this is just an assumption, or he could be perfectly, he could be acting too. He could be acting too, because what he wanted was power, and he could be acting for it, to achieve that power. That could also be that's also an assumption. I mean, when you look at history, you can only come up with assumptions. You can't, because you can't go back to history, and that is not going to happen again. So you can only make assumptions about it. One of the assumptions is this, and another assumption is he was perfectly acting, and he started getting power and such stuff. And but when you look at the hadith, which talks about receiving revelations, I don't think anyone can actually think that that is true. Or if such a person think that that is true, they will have to I would like to ask them that, if hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, I can hear you.
Am I audible, Jazar?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
audible,
I
you're
was
audible.
telling you that we have a Muslim viewer, and he's now good friend of us. He comes and he discuss with us on various topic. So listening to your discussion, he is telling that his name is Muhammad Salman. He's asking, how do we know that you, Jazar, isn't suffering from epilepsy?
Mohammed Salman, epilepsy has, you can see someone who's suffering from epilepsy. You can, even someone who has seen epilepsy can confirm it. Like, they would start convulsing. They would start contract. Their muscles would start contracting and relaxing, and they would go unconscious and stuff. And it's quite clear. I don't know how to answer that question. How am I now suffering from epilepsy? I don't know
Yeah,
how
but
to
we
answer it.
cannot. The simple answer can be, we have not seen Jazar having those epileptic attacks, having convulsion and all that. So
Yeah.
Salman, the
Uh,
moment you see him, getting those attacks, then you can definitely, think or can say that he's suffering from epilepsy. Apart from that, we also have Dr. Sky Wilkinson, who's telling that a patient with temporal lobe epilepsy and
exactly.
audio-visual
Yeah.
hallucinations can still live a perfectly normal life and be cunning. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Sky. Yeah, so please go ahead.
Yeah. So epilepsy is not, epilepsy is more of a neurological condition. It's not a psychiatric condition. It's not exactly a psychiatric condition. But what I meant was the way he received his revelations, and he saw things. He saw Jibril in the sky sitting on a chair. He saw, all those stuff, and he thought himself to be someone, who has to rule, who, something, a kind of delusion of grandeur, we say in medical terms, we say something like that. And so uh, you know he could be, I mean, we can't confirm something which has happened in history. It's like, when we if we talk about the resurrection of Christ, we can't confirm it, we can't say anything about it, because it happened, or it was alleged to have happened. It is there in the Bible, and those who want to believe it can believe it, but there is no evidence for it. And so, like, when you're looking at history, you can only make assumptions about history, what could have been, or what is a most probable explanation for that. And so I think I'll continue. The Another reason is that why I reject the prophethood of Muhammad is for moral reasons.
Hmm.
It's like, I don't think it needs any more explanation, because like you know I don't think any decent human being, let alone a prophet, any decent human being would commit crimes and injustice as Muhammad has done, against people of other religion, against men, against women, even against children, even against animals. For children, when I talk about children, the first thing that comes to my mind is the that instant where the Muhammad and
Banu
his
Qurayza?
companions attacked. Yeah, Banu Qurayza, exactly. The
Hmm.
boys who had pubic hair, they were killed. They were just killed. And
Yeah,
animals.
that is
He
that is
ha-
really disturbing.
Yeah, that is like I think that is one of the I've seen many Muslims who listened or read the story of Banu Qurayza and became ex-Muslims and left their religion
Oh,
because yeah, because that is because no one can, any decent human being or any human being with at least some good qualities or at least some good in them cannot say that that is justifiable. No, you can't, because children are children. You can't. I'm not saying that any killing is unjustifiable. You can't. At least that is my opinion. But killing children, children who can't defend themselves, just on the pretext of having pubic hair, that is barbaric. That is, you can't justify it with any number of arguments.
yeah. And apart
Uh,
from the incident of Banu Qurayza, there is one more, hadith in, I think it's in Sahih Bukhari, and we conducted an entire stream.
Nitrates, right?
Yeah, night raid. So
Yeah, yeah,
the companion goes and check with Hazrat Muhammad that
yeah.
when we do night raids and attack, unknowingly, or what you say, without intention, we kill the women and children as well. So on that, Prophet Muhammad says that you don't have to worry on that. They belong to the mushrik. They were mushrik.
Mushrik.
They were of them. So
They were.
even I don't know how a person with humanity can accept this statement from Hazrat Muhammad. He should have stopped that. He should have told them not to do night raids. If because of night raids the children are getting killed, then he should have simply stopped that. But instead of that, he's telling that they are from them. And I don't know, I really don't know, we had so many Muslim callers coming and defending that what Muhammad said on that occasion.
That is terrible actually, and I've read when you take consider women, there were during these raids and or wars and stuff. When you read Tafhim al Quran of Maududi, you can see that when these people are captured, the non-Muslims, they're even if they were couples, even if they were husband and wife, because Islam has power over them, their marriage is automatically cancelled, and they're not husband and wife anymore. That is as per Islamic rule, they're not husband and wife anymore, and those women, they belong to the Muslims and will be handed out as slaves for whatever purpose, including sex. I mean,
Yeah,
what kind of profit does that? What kind of
right.
profit does that?
So we have someone who is defending Banu Qurayza incident, and Muhammad Salman is telling Banu Qurayza were killed according to the law of Torah. This is a standard excuse these guys have, that they were killed according to the law of Torah. See, Muhammad Salman, if I tell you one hadith where Umar was reading from Torah, the Prophet got angry. Have you not read that hadith? He got angry. He got angry. Abu Bakr saw him and he stopped Umar. And then Umar apologized for that. And he asked, then Prophet Muhammad said that even if Moses, if Moses is alive now, he has to follow me. You cannot follow his Sharia. Okay. So why this killing was done according to the law of Torah? The Prophet
See,
Muhammad should have
Sahil,
handled it on the
even if
basis of, yeah,
I don't understand how the Torah, even if the Torah says that, how does it become justifiable? I don't understand that.
yeah, right. This,
Just
they have this standard excuse. I mean, what is this, yeah? What is this? Standard
because Torah
excuse.
said it.
They were punished on the basis of Torah. Why Prophet Muhammad? The reason why, they appointed that man, because they thought like, he will do something so that their life will be spared. Was this not the reason why they appointed that man who said that as per the Torah you should be killed? Why they appointed him? Can you think? They appointed him thinking that he will do something so that our lives are spared, we are saved. What kind of excuse you guys are bringing to kill people, to kill children who just got their pubic hair? What kind of standards you have? If a boy is having pubic hair, he's a grown up man. A 9 or 10-year-old boy can start growing the pubic hair.
I have only
Yeah.
one thing to say to such people, like, just imagine if these kind of thing is happening to you and your family, how will you react? Will you still justify it?
And
That is
what
all
was
I
the
have to
mistake
ask.
of and what was the mistake of women and children? What was the mistake of women and children? The women were sold. The woman was sold. They made them slaves and they were sold. And you people are justifying this act. Come on,
I mean, like,
Salman bhai, come
wherever you
on.
take, whichever point you take, it's, it's unjustifiable. For leave the women and children out of it. Still, it's not correct. Wherever you take it, it's
Yeah.
still not correct.
You only say he was merciful, right? Why didn't he spare them? Why didn't
I
he
think
spare them? He was
I
the,
think they'll
he
come.
was sent as a mercy to humankind. If Allah can forgive someone who has done hundreds of killing, why can't Prophet Muhammad spare them? I don't think anyone can justify this act. Yes, Jazar, I'm really sorry. Please
No, no, no.
continue.
It's okay. It's okay. And yeah, and not only that, Prophet Muhammad had sex slaves. He promoted slavery. He actually bought slaves. He sold slaves. He had sex slaves. He tried to have sex with one of his sex slaves, when his wife was not looking. I think it was Hafsa. I think
Maria,
Hafsa was not
yeah,
looking. Yeah, Maria. When Hafsa was not looking, he tried to have sex with Maria ibn Kipti. I think that was it.
Maria Kiptia. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know, like, what standard does he have to show us to lead the world? I don't know. I don't have anything more to say on that anyway, because it's, which prophet will allow all this? I don't know. And just now Sahil said that he was sent as like Muhammad was sent as a mercy, but towards the end, or that was what the Mufassir say, that the fifth or the Surah At-Tawbah, the fifth chapter, and related hadiths say that he was sent with a sword to establish the Islamic rule, the kingdom of Allah, the Islamic rules, the Sharia rule in the world. Muhammad was extremely intolerant of other religion and people. There's a hadith in, I guess, in Bukhari. I think he said that he will not, allow the Jews and the Christians to live in Arabia, and that was reported by none other than the second Khalifa of Islam, Umar bin al-Khattab. Like, he will not leave the Christians and Jews, or he will not allow the Christians and Jews to live in Arabia. What mercy is this? Or maybe if you think of it in another way, that's actually a mercy, because not having to live under a prophet like this or a ruler like this, it is actually a mercy. Sahil, what was the fifth question? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Sahil, I can't see you here.
Can you hear me, Jaisar?
Hello,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I can
really
hear you.
sorry I got
What
disconnected.
happened?
Yeah, due to some network issue. Yeah, so
Oh,
please continue.
yeah. So, what was your fifth question?
Sorry.
What was your fifth question?
So my fifth question is, what do you think is the position of women in Islam?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll go to the fifth question. I think we have covered enough for the second, third, and fourth question. Like it was
Yeah.
about Quran, Muhammad, and Islam. I mean, why I left Islam. And I think we'll go to the fifth question. Now, as I said earlier, that Islam is a very much misogynistic and patriarchal religion. Islam considers women in the same way as a person in the sense man. Man is being given utmost importance in Islam. Women is being considered as his property, just like money, just like property and all other kinds of wealth of a man. Women in Islam are one of the properties of a Muslim man, and difference in is that women are a bit more expensive. They're not just like other properties, not like money or land that you possess. They Women are they are your they're responsible for your next generation, for your children, and so women become more expensive. And the condition of a woman in Islam is same throughout her life. Like when she is a daughter, she's under the mercy of her father. When she's on wife, when she becomes a wife, she's under the mercy of her own husband. uh, Something that really troubled me was that when I first read that verse in Surah An-Nisa, I forgot which verse that was. I think it was the third or fourth verse. I think I don't remember. That even young children, Prophet Muhammad gave his permission or his consent that even young girls who are not even mature, that is not even have crossed puberty, pre-pubertal girls can be married off by their father, by their father or the guardian. Father can marry off his daughter at a very young age. She can even be married off even before puberty. You don't even have to cross puberty. Your father can decide your marriage and then marry it off, even if that young girl refuses to go. After being married off, even if she refuses to go, um the father has the power to marry her off and send her off with a husband. This is because there is no minimum age of marriage in Islam. There is absolutely no minimum age of marriage in Islam. Uh, uh, if the girl is a minor, the father does not even have to consult the girl. If the girl is above 9 years, or if the father, I mean, if the girl has crossed puberty, then her consent should be obtained, and her consent is silent. Silence. Her silence is a consent according to the hadith, and she's paid a mahar. Now, what is mahar? Mahar is another actually a very disgusting thing, because nikah in Arabic, when I found this out recently, nikah actually means, in a way, it means sexual intercourse, and mahar means you're legally paying to have sexual intercourse with your wife. That is what is mahar. That is the amount of money, or the whatever has been agreed upon, that is being given to the wife, the woman you're going to marry, so that you can have sex with her. That is what is mahar. I mean, w- what what standard is this? What moral values there in this? It's like legalized prostitution. You're marrying a woman who's supposed to be a wife, and you're giving her mahar, which the Muslim community boast of something, something very progressive. They say that in Islam there is no dowry, but the status of mahar, or the reality of mahar, is this: mahar is being paid so that a man can have sex with, legally have sex with his own wife. That is what is mahar. And now, I mean, the classical Islamic scholars gave this definition, or that is what they considered mahar to be. And classical Islamic scholars are the greatest authority. Modern Islamic scholars have change the meaning, or they obviously they would have thought that this is not something which the new world or the modern world will accept, because it is very disgusting. It's absolutely dirty to think of something like that. You're paying your own wife to have sex. That's that's disgusting. That's really disgusting. And so the modern Islamic scholars, they changed the meaning of mahar to something which is more acceptable, which is more people, when they hear about mahar, it has completely changed the meaning of mahar now, especially in a society in India, like in India, where we see innumerable cases of dowry and dowry related deaths. uh, Muslims say that mahar is something, very progressive, but the real meaning of mahar is this. And now, when you come to, women, I'll come to the marriage part. The women, they're not supposed to, go out of the house without a mahram. Now, what is a mahram? Mahram is a man with whom she cannot have a marriageable or a, sexual relation or legal sexual relationship or a marriageable relationship. She can't go out of her own home alone. She can't. She's absolutely forbidden, because she is a woman is aura. As soon as she steps out of the house, shaitan comes looking for her, and she herself is a form of shaitan for the other men. I mean,
That is
seriously.
absolutely amazing logic of Prophet Muhammad. She is a
Yeah,
shaitan for someone else.
I,
Disgusting.
I, I mean, like the extent to which Muhammad objectifies women is, it's so disgusting. And like, the
And Jazar,
yeah,
the irony is, if you look at Muslim women now, I don't think anyone is following this, this teaching of Prophet Muhammad, Hazrat Muhammad, that a girl should go out with the mahram. I mean, you
yeah,
have Muslim women, girls going out without anyone. They go alone.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, no one is following that.
no. You can see, like, Muslim women are going for jobs. Muslim women are studying in universities and colleges, and Muslim women are, I'm actually very proud or very happy to say that Muslim women are really, making a great movement within the religion. At least, they are getting education, they're getting jobs, they're trying to become self-sufficient, even though, the setting in India and being a Muslim is, it's very difficult, because Islam is a regressive religion. But Muslim women, at least in what I've seen in Kerala, is something like that, because you can see lots and lots of Muslim girls in medical colleges and engineering colleges, in professional institutions, and even high positions of in companies. I mean, that's a great movement actually. They are completely destroying what Prophet Muhammad had, orders.
Right. Okay. So this
And
guy is
yeah,
asking, yeah, Abdul Rahim is asking, where it is said she's Satan, Satan. See, Abdul Rahim, there is a hadith wherein Prophet Muhammad sees a woman and he gets excited. He goes to Zainab. He has sexual intercourse with Zainab, and then he comes out, go to his companion, and says that if seeing a woman, if we get this kind of feeling, excitement, then you should go to your wife and get relief, because woman comes in the form of Satan. Okay, so if you want, I can share that. I was searching that hadith, because we have already discussed on this. I'm not finding that, but it's very much, if you see my previous streams, you'll find this hadith also. So Prophet Muhammad did say that. Yes, Jazar, please continue.
yeah. Now, when a woman gets married, she's supposed to be, a tip top. She's supposed to be perfect, or a very, she should always have a pleasant, happy face. She's supposed to be at their best. She's supposed to dress up, and she's supposed to, and like, when her husband sees her or looks at her, he should feel happy. he should feel like as if uh, I mean, that is a notion that is being told there, uh, that a woman, a wife, a Muslim wife, uh, everything is for the husband. They have to dress up properly. They should have a happy face always, so that the husband feels happy. That is, and that is a perfect wife according to scholars. You can read that in Ibn Kathir's Tafsir Ibn Kathir. She has to be obedient. That is very, very important. A Muslim wife has to be obedient to her husband at all times and in all matters. A Muslim wife cannot go out. Of course, obviously, she can't go out. She does not have to get married for that order to be, come around. She can't go out even before she's married, or even after she's married without a mahram. She can't even, if her husband tells her not to see her parents, not to visit her parents, she can't, because husband becomes the master. Husband is the master of the house. If the husband says that you can't see even your parents, the wife can't do anything. That is final. And almost every scholar confirms this. There's actually a very a huge consensus on this topic. Yeah, if the husband forbids it, she can't do anything except if it is in the matter of religion. I mean, if the husband says you can't pray, she does not have to listen to that. But other than that, she's supposed to listen to her husband in every matter, at all times, in all matters. If the husband asks her to come to bed for their sexual intercourse, she has to listen to it, even if. Sahil, are you there? Ah, okay, okay. You're
Yeah, yeah.
listening to Hadith. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I just wanted to show this hadith
Yeah,
which he
okay.
was asking. It's in Sahih Muslim, hadith number 1403a. I'll just read the hadith. It says,
Yeah,
Jabir reported that Allah's messenger saw a woman, and so he came to his wife Zainab as she was standing a leather. She was standing a leather. She was tanning a leather and had sexual intercourse. So Prophet Muhammad saw a woman, so he came to his wife Zainab as she was tanning a leather and had sexual intercourse with her. He then went to his companions and told them, the woman advances and retires in the shape of a devil. So when one of you sees a woman, he should come to his wife, for that will repel what he feels in his heart. So just imagine, yeah, the Muslim brother who asked this. This is the hadith which we were talking about. You can go through it. Thank you, Indian
that's
Agnostic, for sharing the link.
that's
Yeah,
very funny Hadith actually. I mean, uh, how many times will a man will go to his wife then? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this world is becoming smaller and smaller. It's becoming a global village. You have to see men and women and transgenders and all other people. How many times will you go to your wife in a day?
hmm. And just
And
imagine a person who is a prophet.
yeah,
Just imagine he goes out, he sees a woman, and he's getting excited, so much excited that he has to go to his wife who is standing a leather, and he has to do that, do the sexual intercourse. Just imagine, how can you, Muslim brothers and sisters, how can you digest that? A person who is a prophet, a person who already has so many wives. See, if someone who is not married, we can just consider it. He is not married,
yeah,
he is not
yeah.
getting anything to get relieved, so possibly he got excited. But a person who is already having so many wives, multiple wives, and he is a prophet, and then he is getting excited.
Actually, there is even a hadith for that too. He had the strength of 30 men, and he used to go to his all 11 wives in a night, on the same night. And after having sex with all 11 wives, he used to have a bath once, just once. Imagine having sex with one of your wives and going to the second wife, and then going to the third and the 4th and the 5th, and, you're having a bath only once. I mean, how hygienic is that? It is
Yeah.
so unhygienic.
And that's the
And
reason Prophet Muhammad said that, the water of a man is white in color, the discharge of man is white in color, it's thick and white, and the discharge of woman is yellow.
yeah. And these just you just showed back then, like Zainab tanning the leather. That was one of my points actually. That is, she was tanning leather. I mean, she was in a job. She was doing some work. Even then, he couldn't wait. He just couldn't wait, and that is what he says. A wife has to submit to the husband, even if she's on a camel back with him.
Camel sandal, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like that is I've read another hadith too, that Umar bin al Khattab calls a woman a toy, that you are just a toy and we'll call you when we need you. I mean, that is what a woman is in Islam, just a toy. When a man calls her, she can come. When a man asks her to jump, she should jump. When a man asks her to lie on the bed, she can lie on the bed. I mean, it's just like a robot. This is what is a woman in Islam.
Yeah. uh and apart from that, I was supposed to say something, it just got away from my mind.
Is it a
Yeah. So if the wife denies, then
hmm.
the angels will send curses to her
Yeah,
the entire night.
yeah, entire night.
The Most High Allah will be, he'll be angry. So
I
even
mean,
that is a problem.
yeah. I mean, like what I feel like asking is, do these angels have no other job other than cursing them? I mean, being an angel. I mean, at least they should have the sense that they are angels. Even they don't have that.
Okay, so let's move ahead. You have answered very well. What is the status of women in Islam? Okay, so the
Actually,
next
there are.
question
I mean, if we
is,
one
yeah,
second, if
you
we
have more
start.
points.
Actually, I have, but I think it will take a lot more time. And we there's
You
no
can
man.
share the bullet points. You can share the bullet points. I mean,
Yeah, I'll
what other
just
things.
yeah, I'll just say that there's a hadith which says that women are deficient in intelligence, and women are deficient in religion. They are, they lack gratitude to their husbands.
Most
They'll
of them will go to hell.
Yeah, most of them will go to hell. And the way, yeah, after they die, I mean, after death and after the judgment day and stuff, when they go to the not women, when the judgment is over and people go to the heaven, the the houris in heaven, the way they are described in the Quran, it is like, and the way generally the paradise in Jannah is described in Quran. It's like, it's like going to a, what was I used to say? Yeah, it was like going to a prostitution house come dancing bar. Seriously, like, you have alcohol, you have honey, you have milk, and you have hundreds and hundreds of houris who will come to you. You can have sex with them, and it's like, just like when you go to a strip bar or something like that. It's just like that. I
Have
mean,
you been to a strip bar?
no, I've not. I've just seen that in movies.
I'm really sorry asking that personal
No,
question.
no, no. Like I've seen that in movies, and I just want to know how that is. I want at least I want to know it, I would go at least once to know what it is. Though I'm not interested in going to a strip bar for whatever reasons. But I just want to know what is all about, the atmosphere, which is what is that is there in there. No, just to know about it. And that is how Islam describes women. It's, a woman is just an object. That's it. Just an object, by which a man can play with. nothing more, nothing less. And people who say that Islam is the most feminist religion and Prophet Muhammad is the most is a true feminist, I don't know what they have been reading or what they know about Islam. Maybe they were just like me, and they know only the good stuff about Islam. It's because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sixth question was, what was the sixth question? Maybe you can repeat it, at
So
least for the audience
what
sake.
is, yeah, so what is such a thing that can compel Muslims to think that they should read Islam and Muhammad's life by removing the band of faith? I mean, you have that
Yeah.
sect of
Yeah.
Aqidat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
what you can advise them, suggest them, what can be the major points you can ask them to go and check so that they can really think that this is not a true religion.
Yeah. I'll share what led me to disbelieve or what led me to my disbelief. It's like, you should always have an open attitude. You should be open minded about everything. Do not have the assumption that Islam or any ideology that is of this world, you know like how much ever people claim that it is to be it communism, or be it any religion, or be it any capitalism, or whatever ideology, whatever political, social, or economic, or moral ideology. Don't believe that anything that was created or that was designed in this world is perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world. Nothing is perfect. Whatever was created, or whatever we believe or have been taught to believe, was designed, or was written down, or was devised by a human being similar to us. And a human being will definitely have his own or her own, or whatever faults of their own. And so those faults are bound to come up in those ideologies too. So no ideology is perfect. If you have that is the first start, that's the starting point you should have. If if you're not ready to have even a little, or iota of skepticism or criticism, or the ability to think critically, that maybe by chance something in this could be wrong, you can't think about anything critically. And without thinking critically, without thinking skeptically, you can't come up with how to improve the world. If you think the system you have, or the thing, the ideology, or the religion, or whatever it is you believe is perfect, you cannot progress, you cannot move on to you cannot what should I say, like what is next. You can't progress. You will still you'll stay the same position as you were, the around the time the said ideology was created. For example, if you are an Islamist, or if you believe in true Islam, and if you follow everything that Islam says to the point, to the dot. I mean, there is no Muslim who can do that, because the world has changed a lot. But if there is a Muslim like that, that Muslim is still living in the 7th century. There's no doubt about it, because that is because you believe that that is perfect, and it was perfect. Islam was perfect during the Prophet's time, and the Sahabas, and the Tabi'un, and the Tabi'un, and that was the perfect Islam. And if you believe that was how we should live, then we are still living, or we are they are still living 1500 years back. There's no moving forward. And the next point I would like to say is that the first if you want to study Islam, if you want to if say that, like, what happened to me, I was supposed to give an answer to the atheists and the agnostics who criticized my religion, and I ended up being an atheist. So if you want to you know uh, see for yourself that, or prove to yourself that Islam is true, start by reading Seerah Rasulullah. by Ibn Ishaq that has been translated by Alfred Guillaume into the life of Muhammad. The Life of Muhammad is the book. You can start by reading that, and then you can go on to the history of Al Tabari or Tarikh Al Tabari. I'm sure that everyone knows who Al Tabari is. Muhammad ibn Jarir Al Tabari. He is one of the most celebrated historians, one of the most celebrated Islamic scholars. There's a big history written by him. There is also the history written, the universal history, a very comprehensive history written by Ibn Kasir. And then I think you should read about the Quran, because without reading the history of Islam, there is no, I don't think reading the Quran will
will
help you
make any
think critically.
sense.
Yeah, it will not make any sense. You have to know what is happening, and then only you can read about the Quran, and then it will make sense. And when you're reading the Quran, you should read not just limit to one tafsir or one translation. Not even translation. You have to read the tafsirs, because translations just give you the word meanings. Again, it does not help you much. You have to know about what
The
was
background.
the background, background, the situation, and the stuff, why that verse was revealed, and everything related to it. And I would say that Ibn Kasir's tafsir is the best for that. One of the best. Even Tafsir al-Tabari, if you can get Tafsir al-Tabari, that is also very good. Then I would say read the hadith along with the Quran. Uh, Kutub al-Sitta is enough, or maybe even Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim's hadiths are more than enough. And then you can go on to the other four great, and there are still even great, even other tafsir books which are, which are not included in the six great books. And then I think people should read about Islamic fiqh or Islamic theological law books of great imams like Imam Shafi, Imam Malik, Imam Hanbali, Imam Abu Hanifa, and their students like Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Imam Nawawi, and all those great Islamic scholars. You should read the fiqh books on them. And when you're doing all this, when you're reading and studying all this, think about this critically. Think about everything that you read and study critically. Uh, just imagine every situation of any injustice that you see. You are like you should have an idea that killing or that a particular act is good or bad. You should have that idea. Do not think that whatever the Prophet said or whatever Islam commands is good. That is not what is moral, or that will not help you at all. And then when you try to be skeptic and critical, and when you when you say when you try to apply that law or that knowledge in today's world, if you think that it is still right, or if it is wrong, that is how you should proceed. Try to apply that knowledge or the law in today's world. If it most of it most not most I think 99% of it does not make any sense, because and the rest 1% is almost taught by almost all religions, because it refers to in group or tribal morality, wherein people of a particular tribe, they are good to each other because the tribe has to go on. That is as per that is evolutionarily, that is there in every human being or every human tribe. But other than that, religions in general, as far as I know, is not particularly good, uh, or at least it is not required in today's world, because we know what is good and what is right even without consulting religions. We have ethical philosophies to know what is good and what is right. We don't have to go to religions. We don't have to go to something which was written or preached 1,500 years back or 2,000 years back or 3,000 to 4,000 years back. We don't have to go there. We have enough uh, enough philosophies, or even people who are talking about this, thinking about this, writing about this. We can come to a conclusion. And
Yeah.
uh,
So,
the
Jazar, my point of view, your point is absolutely valid, and you have told in detail how a Muslim should go ahead if they really want to understand Islam and the teaching of Islam. And apart from that, my personal belief or thinking is that a person, even if he has to follow any religion, it has to be only till spirituality. That's it. It has to be
Exactly.
only till, because see, our constitution gives right to practice whatever religion you want. Okay, but what means that my understanding is that if we want a peaceful world, uh, the religion may, any religion, be it Islam or any religion, it has to be only till spirituality. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
You
I
restrict
mean,
it. Yeah.
yeah, everyone should
So
have the freedom to believe whatever they want.
right. So
Yeah.
Arsalan is telling, why don't you guys debate with a proper scholar instead of doing all this gibberish and spreading hate? You guys don't have the guts to do that, right? You won't let them talk, ignorant nerds. So Arsalan, let me tell you very clearly, on this channel, we do live stream, open live stream every Tuesday and Friday, and it is open for everyone, be it, I mean, the Muslim callers, be it a normal Muslim or be it a scholar, mufti, anyone. Whatever topic we select, anyone can join and give us reply, keep their logical arguments till the time they are logical.